Hi and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to be doing the Tottenham Hotspur versus Manchester City combined 11 slash preview. So basically I'm going to do the combined 11 for the two sides, and then I'm also going to give you my thoughts on how I think tomorrow's game is going to go. So yeah, stay tuned and watch till the end to know exactly how I think the game is going to go tomorrow night. But yeah, let's get started. So when it comes to the combined 11, as always, I go off of players that are actually fit. And then I also take into consideration the players' form throughout the season. So yeah, when it comes to the goalkeepers, we've got Vicario for Spurs, and then we've also got Edison for Manchester City. And to be honest, I'm not the biggest of fan of it when it comes to either goalkeeper, to be honest. But if I'm being asked to pick between the two of them, I'd definitely go with Edison for Man City. Moving it on to right back, excuse me, we've then got Kyle Walker for Manchester City versus Pedro Porro for Tottenham, who I happen to be a big fan of. I mean, I think Porro's so good, man. Going forward, the only problem with Porro is the defensive side. He's not so great. But going forward, he's definitely good. I mean, we even saw him score a good goal during the weekend. But in as much as I'd like to select Porro, I just can't go against Kyle Walker. I mean, I think he's one of the best right backs in the world. Very solid defensively, and he's not so bad going forward. So I'm going to go with Kyle Walker at right back. Moving it on to centre back, I'm definitely going to go with Ruben Dias for Manchester City for my right centre back slot. Moving it on to the left centre back slot, there's no one else that to go for than Mickey van der Ven. I think he's been absolutely fantastic for Tottenham. I think he's been the signing of the summer. He's been brilliant for them. So Mickey van der Ven gets the left centre back slot. Moving it on to left back, another absolutely fantastic signing for Manchester City in Joško Gvardiol. The guy is absolutely superb, man. He's scoring goals now, left foot, right foot. He can score, finishing like an actual striker. So Gvardiol gets the left back slot. Moving it on to the midfield, I'm going to go with a midfield three. In the number one, of course, no one else to start with other than Rodri himself. I think for me, he's been the best defensive midfielder this season in the Premier League. Him and Rice have been quite close, but I still think Rodri has edged it. I mean, the guy's undefeated in all his Premier League games for Man City this season. So for me, Rodri gets picked first. Moving it on, I've got Kevin De Bruyne, world-class midfield. I don't need to say much. He's also in there for me. So when it comes to the last slot in midfield, it's been a bit of a mixed bag, you know. For Tottenham, we've got someone like Madison, who's been good for them throughout the season, but towards the latter end of the season, he hasn't really been playing well. So I don't think I can feature him in my midfield three. And so I'm rather gonna go with the Portuguese magician for Manchester City, and that is none other than Bernardo Silva. I think he's a top player, and for me, he deserves to be part of this midfield three. Moving it on to the right wing slot, I know people were getting worried, why isn't Phil Foden in the midfield three? But I purposely left him out of the midfield three because I knew I was going to play him on the right wing slot. So for me, the right wing slot goes to Phil Foden. I think he's been my player of the season. This season, he's been brilliant. I mean, we saw him about 2 weeks ago win the Football Writers Association Award for being the player of the year. So I think, for me personally, I think he's been the player of the season. So Foden goes, secures the right wing slot. In at number 9, Erling Haaland. I know people have been basically slandering him and saying that he hasn't played well in the big games, but he's still the Premier League's top scorer. So for me, Haaland secures the number 9 slot. Moving it on to the left wing slot, Heung-min Son secures that, and that completes my combined 11. So yeah, moving it on to my thoughts on tomorrow's game and how I think it will go. I think it's gonna be a tough one, you know. People think Manchester City are going to be the ones to just rock up and just roll Tottenham over, basically. And I don't think that's going to be the case. I mean, the game is at Hart Lane, or rather, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, as they're now called. I think the Spurs fans will be up for this game. In fact, no. If I'm being honest, I think Spurs fans might want to lose the game because they know that if they beat Man City, they basically give the title over to Arsenal. So I don't think Spurs are going to want to win this one. But based on what I've seen in the past few years, Tottenham are basically Manchester City's kryptonite. You know, they're the bogey team and they always seem to get a result against Man City. if memory serves me well, in the last 6 Premier League games that Spurs have played City, Spurs have either won or drawn. Like, they don't lose to Spurs, or they don't lose to Man City, you know. So people are busy telling me, no, Spurs are in bad form. Um, they're definitely gonna try and win. You know, they want to qualify for Champions League. But trust me, from what I've seen, Spurs fans want to lose this game. So I don't know how the players are gonna be. Are they gonna be professional and try to win the game? I've been saying throughout that the game against Spurs is gonna be the decider for me when it comes to whether or not Manchester City wins the league. Like, if City go to Tottenham Stadium tomorrow and win that game, then I think it's done. City will definitely win the league title. But I've been saying that I've got a sneaky feeling that Spurs are going to derail Man City. I think it's going to be a draw tomorrow night. I'm telling you. I don't know why. Well, I think I do. Going off of previous results when the two teams have faced each other, Spurs have always given Manchester City problems. And if I'm being honest, I think it's going to be another draw tomorrow night. The way I can see the game going is I can see City dominating possession as always. I mean, Spurs will play on the high line and look to press, but the ball's over the top. De Bruyne looking to basically hit through passes for Erling Haaland. I mean, we both see that Haaland is basically a transitional player. So if you're hitting balls in behind defenders for him, and it's him basically one-on-one with the goalkeeper, he's going to love that. I can see Haaland scoring a few goals, maybe a brace, maybe even a hat-trick, I don't know. But at the same time, I can also see Spurs scoring goals because Man City's defense isn't that great. And as much as they're good going forward, their defense isn't good, and that's why they barely keep any clean sheets. So I can see Spurs getting 2 or 3 goals as well tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and predict an exciting thriller, a 3-3 thriller between Spurs and Man City. And I think that draw will basically hand the initiative back to Arsenal because they've got a 3-goal difference. It's superior to Man City's by 3, I believe. So, like I said, I can see a 3-3 draw between the two sides tomorrow night, and that's basically going to hand the title over to Arsenal to finish the job on Sunday against Everton. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you think I'm crazy for predicting a draw between Spurs and City tomorrow. Let me know what you think the score is going to be. Do you think City is going to win? Do you think Spurs will actually beat Man City, or do you think it's going to be draw like I predicted? But like I said, let me know in the comments. Anyways, like the video, share the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys soon.